Hello again, friends. This is a special week in that we have an original story written by a good friend. So let me start with an introduction. This is Ripple. Ripple is right in front of my face. We should probably not have Ripple right in front of my face. Go to the side. Right. Yes, I love you too, Ripple. That was Ripple. Did we get a good face shot of Ripple? Hello, Ripple. Ripple, when he made his way down from the mountain to join me, got a little lost. He was found by my good friend, GobLynn. You may actually know GobLynn by another name, and that GobLynn often comments under the name Rally Cheetah. At any rate, GobLynn has a strong love for my world and the creatures who inhabit it, and so they help to find lost or creatures looking for a home here in the human world. She helps a lot of my friends find homes. There's a link in the description to her Facebook page in case you want to provide a home for a wayward magical creature. One such creature that I had not yet met in my journeys is called a PenFeather. I'm not surprised, as water spirits don't spend much time in libraries. You see, GobLynn studies spirits and fae folk, and they found that PenFeathers, also known as quill, are a small fae that look a bit like birds crossed with elves. They are, above all things, obsessed with collecting knowledge and secrets. They keep their secrets in protected, warded libraries. They are skilled, as many of the fae are, in magic. When the occasion calls for it, they can create almost perfect duplicates of the tomes and scrolls that they steal. In fact, there is a story about just such a PenFeather. And in the grand tradition of the Brothers Grimm, nobody has a name. Anyway, join me now as we discover the story of the Master of Mysticism and the PenFeather, as retold by GobLynn. Long ago, in the in-between, there lived a great and powerful magus. Though his true name was never known, he was well renowned in the kingdom of air, and was often referred to by titles such as Master of Mysticism and Supreme Spellbinder. Much like a PenFeather, he had a thirst for knowledge, and thus constructed a great library for himself. However, unlike a PenFeather, he was willing to share the secrets locked within his library's walls, if he felt that those asking could handle the truth. And so, his library became a sort of magical college for the enlightened. While it's true he was generous with much information, there were naturally several articles he kept hidden away. These books, scrolls, and other trinkets were protected by powerful spells to prevent their secrets from being discovered by an unready world. It was these items that attracted the PenFeather. The PenFeather had heard great things of this library and yearned to know what was tucked away in the hidden vaults. But this PenFeather wasn't a fool, and knew that accessing this information would be made next to impossible. After all, the library was laden with all kinds of wards and traps to keep mischievous beings out, and so the PenFeather just perched on a nearby building and stared hungrily at the library, scanning for any weak point. There were none. But this didn't stop the PenFeather from hoping. Centuries went by, and the PenFeather still made a routine of checking on the library. Others of her kind considered her a fool for continuing what was obviously a futile mission. But still she came. She came until one day something odd happened. Perhaps it was because she was mocked by her own kind, or maybe it was because she had looked at the situation from every angle, and at last had discovered that there were possibilities beyond the box. Whatever the reason, she decided to do something that went against the nature of PenFeathers at the time. She flew down to the library door and knocked.
Knock, and the door will open.
Oh.
A student answered, and after a couple of seconds of trying to locate the source of the knock, he was startled to see an annoyed PenFeather standing outside. Even more startling, the PenFeather asked to be let inside. After a second or two of awkward babbling, the student retreated inside to fetch the Magus. Now, why the Magus allowed the PenFeather to enter is up for debate. Surely he must have known the risks, or maybe it was because of the risks that he allowed it. Whatever the reason, he welcomed the PenFeather to his library, and even offered to give her some of his scrolls if she'd work as a librarian, and help to keep his collection organized. She agreed, and an alliance was formed. Years went by, and slowly but surely the PenFeather started to hunger for more and more texts. It was like a constant itch yearning to be scratched. But she knew that to give in to temptation could jeopardize everything. Even so, she was a PenFeather, and as such could only go against her true nature for so long. And so one night she slipped away into one of the magic vaults and stole one of the secret texts. It was a cunning plan, made easier by her years as a librarian. She had learned much from the Magus and had studied his spells and ward techniques. So, with a satisfying sizzle, the ward was dispelled, and with a click, the lock picked. Then, ever so carefully, the duplicate text was inserted into the tome. That was then relocked and stored away. Yes, truly clever. Or so she thought. Throughout the rest of the week, she couldn't help but notice a change in the Magus. He seemed to have this constant smile on his face, like he was in on some kind of joke. It was unnerving, but the PenFeather refused to let anything slip. Then, out of the blue, he asked that she fetch the very text she'd stolen. Panic struck hard, but only for a moment. Without ever changing her expression, she went into the vault, grabbed the duplicate she'd placed there, and handed it to the Magus. He frowned. "I'm afraid I'll need the actual copy, not a transcript. Please fetch me the original." Caught red-handed, the PenFeather didn't bother to argue and flew to her library to retrieve the original text. But it wasn't there. What was there was a note from the Magus, thanking her for her services and wishing her well in future endeavors. After staring at the note for several seconds, she let out a boisterous laugh, then crumbled the note and threw it away. Ha! Well, at least the PenFeather and the Magus were both good sports about the whole thing. I think that was a lovely story. Thank you, GobLynn, for sharing it with us. Please leave a comment for GobLynn. They always leave the most wonderful and thoughtful comments, and I know they would love to hear from you about what you thought of the story. And if you would like to adopt or foster a fey creature, go to Goblynn's Den and see who is waiting to find a home. I'm sure one of my cousins will catch your interest. Now I would like to say thank you to Pixabay.com. At that website you can find creators who make music, art, videos, vectors, and sound effects. And they help little creators, like myself. One of their creators made the little train that is going by now, the one that reminds you to like and share. I try to thank everyone in the description, so please go and take a look. I would also like to thank you, my dear friends. I will never be able to express how much you mean to me. Thank you. And now for a special thank you from my Patreon friends.